Okay, so I'm Aaron Allport, I'm the Vice President of Art at King, and I'm at the View conference.
One of the things I found really interesting the first time I went to your studio was you guys have that PC site where you're able to test a lot of different games and get real-time feedback before deciding what's going to actually end up going and being a push. Can you talk a little about that process and how that has allowed something like a Candy Crush to become a global success?
Yeah, well, that's very true, and essentially playtesting our games is a vital part of our process, because what we do is we develop different features for our games, and then we want to validate whether or not the player is going to find them fun enough to stay in the game and have fun with those features for a long period of time. So that process is very important to the way that we make games, and it's an opportunity for us because we have different segments of audiences. So that means that we can try different mechanics or different features within the game with different groups of our audience throughout the world. And that's a really useful way for us to understand whether or not the game is going to be successful and whether our players are going to love it and love it for a long period of time. So it's a vital strategy for the way that we make games at King.
When you look at right now, one of the most popular games in the world today is Fortnite, but you don't have parents and grandparents spending time playing that like you do with the Candy Crush. What are the keys to having a game that can be cross-generational and enjoyed by so many different age groups?
Yeah, that's a great point, and seeing Fortnite being so successful is great for our industry, I think, and that has really proven to be an amazing next step in mobile games, very similar to sort of like the Pokemon Go's as well. I think that was another amazing achievement. This is all part of a bigger puzzle. In my own opinion, this is all part of a much bigger puzzle. The idea that playing games, and this is what the mobile devices have given us, is playing games is expanding to be such a huge part of the entertainment industry. I mean, games has already been huge, but this is giving us a real amazing opportunity. So it's games like Candy Crush that have given non-gamers a really lovely gaming experience. But then there's other games like Fortnite that are again expanding the user base and also proving the next benchmark of what mobile games can achieve. So I think those kinds of things are great for our industry.
What have you learned about your audience from the perspective? A lot of times when I hear people, they say they're not a gamer, but then you ask them what they play, and they'll play Candy Crush or a game like that pretty regularly, weekly.
Yeah, it's interesting. I always use the idea of the fact that I've been making games for a long time, console games primarily, and then moved into mobile games. And what was so great about joining King is that all of a sudden I was making games that my mum plays. And now it's a case where my mum plays a lot of our games and gives me feedback on the way that the characters look and what the game mechanics are like. And for that, for someone of that kind of audience, is just wonderful for our industry. And you're absolutely right. What's happening is our non-gamer audience are becoming gamers. And that's wonderful because even if they don't want to admit it, or if they don't understand what that is, it doesn't really matter. The fact is they are learning what game experiences are like, and what I think that they're becoming more savvy and they're wanting more complex games, more interesting looking games, and specifically for art, that means that their expectations from a quality point of view are much higher, which means that we have to continue to do better and better.
Well, at the same time, they don't consider themselves gamers because gaming has become so ubiquitous. It's just part of what you do as a regular daily activity.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And if we look at King games, right, what we understand is on average, our players play for 36 minutes a day, but not in one go, in short blocks and short sessions throughout the day. And that's really interesting in regards to seeing the trend of how our players play. And you're right, when it gets to a point where actually the word gamer doesn't really matter anymore, right? This is just it becomes part of everyday life.